In this video, I'm going to talk about the pull-up, how I approach learning a new skill like this, and my own best practices for training using my own body weight, so you can start doing repetitions of this awesome exercise in no time. If you don't know me, my name is Andreas Gates. I have 20 years plus of experience practicing and studying movement within disciplines like weight training, arm balance, mobility, climbing, and calisthenics. I now work as a movement coach, and my intention is to share what I've learned over the years so that hopefully you don't have to make the same mistakes that I've done and help you get faster, better results in your own practice. If you like the content, subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. This is not an in-depth video of the detailed mechanics behind the pull-up. There are plenty of other videos where you can learn just that. What I want to do is help you get started, so let's not make it too complicated. The pull-up. Hands down one of my favorite bodyweight exercises. I love it because when I grip that bar, I feel strong and free. Having the strength, coordination and capacity to move my body around is awesome. Exactly that experience is what I want to help you get. So the interesting thing about most bodyweight exercises is that you can either do them or you can't. I can pull myself up or I can't. So then the question becomes, how do I progressively break down a movement into parts I can actually do in order to work towards getting strong enough to later perform the full movement? The secret is leveraging the power of eccentric movement. But before I get into that, let's talk about the what, why, when, and hows. Quick run through of the whats. If you want to develop your back, the pull-up is a no-brainer. Arms and back of your shoulders are also included. And let's not forget about that grip strength. Easy. When looking at force production in the joint, you're gonna be strongest in the middle. Fully extended and fully contracted is where it is hardest to generate force. If we apply this to the pull-up, that means the bottom and the top will be the hardest parts. Keep watching and I'll get to how I work around this. So why do I do pull-ups? I do them mainly for 3 reasons. Strength, health and looks. I climb a lot and doing pull-ups helps me get stronger so that I can climb harder routes but also keeping the tissue healthy. I found that if I combine the heavy work I do on the climbing wall with a bit of high repetitions in the gym, I feel better and generally stay more injury-free. Feeling stronger is an amazing experience which I find affects how I feel and move around in the world in general. I also train the pull-up due to how it makes my back look. I'm not into the whole building muscle to compensate for a lack of self-esteem, which is what I did when I was younger. And it's just a temporary fix to a deeper, more underlying issue. I'm very pro though, moving for health, and the byproduct being that I also feel proud of how my physique looks. I personally prefer the pull-up over the chin-up. The pull-up, if performed correctly, will primarily target your back. With the chin-up, on the other hand, more of the front of the body gets involved. There's definitely back activation, but your biceps are gonna be more active, which translates into you probably being stronger in the chin-up over the pull-up. I focus mostly on back development when choosing a movement like this, and I find the pull-up also being more transferable to my climbing. Try both and see whichever of the two suits you the best. So when do I do pull-ups? I do them usually twice a week, sometimes after a climbing session, but mostly together as part of when I train upper body in the gym. I have an upper body workout basic schedule I do when I don't have too much time available. There's a link in the description where you can download it, check it out. If I've been climbing, I don't need to worry about warming up, but I always do before I get into the actual workout. My general guidelines for pull-ups are 3 sets of about 80% max effort for each set, so usually not to failure. The range can vary between 12 to 6 repetitions, depending on how tired I am or if I'm using extra weight. When we get to the how, we first need to talk about 2 things: eccentric movement and force production. Firstly, what is eccentric movement and how do I use it to my advantage? Eccentric movement is basically the negative direction when you're lengthening a muscle or muscle groups, not contracting. What is interesting about this is you'll be able to generate about 50% more power when you do an eccentric movement compared to a concentric one, which may vary depending on the individual and what joints we're talking about. But that means you'll be 50% stronger in the negative direction. The second important piece is force production. Try this now. Grab your own wrist. Start by using only your hands to squeeze your wrist. Add your forearm, then your upper arm, your shoulder, abs and legs. Now contract your entire body. What did you notice? probably that the more of your body you incorporated, the harder you could squeeze. The same will be true for when you do a pull-up. I find that the better my body is at working together when performing a lift, or a movement for that matter, the more force I'll be able to produce. And the more force I'll be able to generate, the more of the muscle tissue will get involved, resulting in me doing more repetitions with heavier load and stimulating more growth, aka getting stronger. So then you're probably asking, how do I start working towards doing my first pull-up if I can't do one yet? Great question. Grab a chair or a box or whatever elevated surface that you can step up onto, high enough so that you can start with your chin above the bar. You're going to perform sets of negative repetitions, the eccentric part of the pull-up. Grab the bar a bit wider than shoulder width. If you're doing the chin up, you'll do the opposite and grab the bar slightly short of shoulder width apart. I prefer having my thumbs above, not around the bar. Try what feels best for you. Starting at the top, move your feet off of the surface so you can maintain control and not start swinging wildly. Squeeze and work against gravity through the entire movement, especially at the bottom. If this feels too hard, what you can do is add a rubber band. Secure it around the bar, step into it using both feet. Be careful not to let it slip and slap you in the face. The good thing about using a rubber band is that it'll give you the most support at the bottom of the movement, which is generally the hardest part. If you need to get yourself some good rubber bands, check out the link in the description. I've been using these for years and they're awesome. When performing the pull-up, really focus on controlling your shoulder blades. I always try to work the full range of motion in any exercise. Relax into a passive hang at the bottom, and when you begin the movement, always initiate your shoulder blades first. At the top, try doing the opposite, really pulling them down, working against gravity. If you can already do at least one pull-up, start with that, then do the negatives. Can you do two? Then do those before the negative repetitions. If you want to learn more about the two other exercises I do as part of my upper body routine, check out this video. I break down the push-up and the bodyweight row into progressive steps anyone can do. Building habits take time and consistency is what matters. So rather do a little than overdo it or doing nothing at all. Dream big, set goals and take action. I'll see you in the next video.